Today we discuss about the Great Amherst Mystery. The Great Amherst Mystery was a notorious case of reported poltergeist activity in Amherst, Nova Scotia, Canada, between 1878 to 79. It was the subject of an investigation by Walter Humbel, an actor with an interest in the psychic phenomenon who kept what he claimed was a diary of events in the house. Later expanded into a popular book. Coming to the events, Amherst mystery centered in Esther Cox, who lived in a house with her married sister, Olive Teed, Olive's husband Daniel, and their two young children. A brother and sister, Esther and Olive, was also lived in the house, as did Daniel's brother John Teed. According to the Humble accounts, event began at the end of August 1878 after Esther Cox, then aged 18, was subjected to an after sex assault by a male client. This left her in a great distress, as shortly after this is the physical phenomena began. There were knockings, bangings, rustlings in the night, and Esther herself began to suffer seizures in which her body visibly swelled, and she was feverish and chilled by turns. Then objects in the house took flight. The frightened family called in a doctor. During his visit, bedclothes moved. Scratching noises were heard, and the words "Easter Cox, you are mine to kill" appeared on the wall by the head of the Easter's bed. The following day, the doctor administered sedatives to Easter to calm her and help her sleep, whereupon more noises of flying objects manifested themselves. Attempts to communicate with the spirit result in tapped responses to questions. The phenomenon continued for months and became well known locally. Visitors to the cottage, including a clergyman, heard banging and knocking and witnessed moving objects. Other than the Easter herself was under close observation. In December, Easter fell ill with diphtheria. No phenomena were observed during the 2 weeks she spent in bed. During that time, she spent recuperating afterwards at the home of the married sister Sackville, New Brunswick. However, she turned to the Amherst. The mysterious events began again, this time involving the outbreak of the fires in various places in the house. Esther herself now claimed to see the ghost, which threatened to burn the house down unless she left. In January 1817, Esther moved in with another local family, but the manifestations around her continued and were witnessed by many people, some of whom conversed with the ghost. By questioning rapid answers, some were curious and sympathetic. Others believed Esther herself to be responsible for the phenomena, and she met with some hostility. Locally, Esther was frequently slapped, kicked, and scratched by the ghost, and on one occasion was stabbed in the back with a clasp knife. Interest in the case grew as the news spread, and late March, Esther spent some time in the St. John, New Brunswick, where she was investigated by local gentlemen and with an interest in science. By now, several distinct spirits were apparently associated with the Easter and communicated with the onlookers via knocks and rappings. Bob Nickel and the original ghost claimed to have been a shoemaker. In life, and others identify themselves as Peter Cox, the relative of Easter's, and Maggie's Fisher. After the visit of St. John, Easter spent some time with the Van Amberers, friends with a peaceful farm near Amherst, and then returned to the Teed's cottage in the summer of 1879. Whereupon the phenomenon broke out again. It was at this point that Walter Humble arrived, attracted by the publicity surrounding the case, and moved into the Ted cottage as a lodger to investigate the phenomena. Humble spent some weeks with Easter and her family, and reportedly having personally witnessed moving objects, fire, and items appearing from nowhere, and claimed that he saw phenomena occur when even Esther herself was in the full view and obviously unconnected with them. He also claimed to have witnessed attacks on Esther with pins and other sharp objects, and to have seen her in several of her fits of extreme swelling and pain. He communicated with the various named spirits by rapping. Listed some others: Mary Fisher, Jane Nickel, and Eliza McNeil were also manifesting themselves as a parts of event. With a Hubble professional lab, Esther Cox embarked on a speaking tour, attracting audiences who paid to see her and hear her story. However, she met with some hostile reactions and how she was heckled and one night and disturbance broke out. The attempts were abandoned. She returned to Amherst once more, working for a man named Arthur Davison, but after his ban down, he accused her of arson, and she was convicted and sentenced to 4 months in prison, although she was released after only one. After this, the phenomenon gradually ceased for good. Esther Cox subsequently married twice, having a son by each of her husbands. She moved to Brockton, Massachusetts with her second husband and died November 8, 1912, aged 52 years. After the math, Hubble's book was published in 1879 as approved, proved popular, selling at least 55,000 copies. Ernest's case was also investigated by British paranormal researcher Hereward Carrington, who took statements from surviving witnesses of the events in 1907 and published them, allowing the detailed account of case in 1913. All researchers looked at the case more critically in Hubble, in particular Dr. Walter F. Prince in the proceedings in the American Society of Physical Research 1919, a made a detailed case of the trickery and Easter Cox while the dissociated state. In 2012, former Cumberland County Museum curator Larry Glenn Norris authorized a book further investigated the mystery entitled Haunted Doll, Easter Cox and the Great Amherst Mystery. In 2015, the book's publisher announced that it had sold all film rights of the books to project led by Larcia Kondracki, a director of popular TV shows such as The Walking Dead and Better Call Saul. In 2009, the mystery was featured in Dark 14 podcast, which explores true crime and dark history. This is